It's often the bosses who take the credit for successful businesses, but a new book claims to highlight in a radical way of looking at employees and seeing them as well-informed experts rather than just, quote, compliant functionaries in building a world-class business. Now, one of the three authors is Tony Buzan, who's an expert on mental literacy and the originator of mind maps. It's trademarked, his mind maps, and they're featured heavily in the book Grassroots Leaders, the Brain Smart Revolution. He joins us here in the studio now. I'm interested in this mind mapping technique, but you started with being fascinated by the brain. You've got the colourful side, you've got the logical side, bridging the gap, and you looked at people like Leonardo da Vinci, many key inventors, decision makers, and they were drawing out diagrams. Is that what it's about?
Yes, it was about really me in school and university, slowly getting worse and worse and worse. Everything was going down, my marks, my confidence, except my workload, which was going up. And so I began to study the way in which the brain works. I went to the library and said, I need a book on how to use my brain. And the librarian said, the medical section's over there, sir. Yeah. I said, I don't want to take it out, I want to learn how to use it. So I began to benchmark, if you like, the geniuses. What did they do? How did they think? How did they take notes? And so I began to extract keywords, I began to extract images. Certain words were key words, so they became bigger. And gradually, as I added arrows and little pictures and diagrams, this map of my thought revealed itself in front of me.
I mean, we can see this sort of map that you've done here with all these different branches coming out there. I've seen this before, and indeed, doodling, I've sort of done it myself in a very unconstructed way. But what, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm not, what use is it?
You can be rude if you like.
No, I don't want to be rude. But why would you use this? Where does this take you?
This takes you wherever your mind wants to go in a much more efficient manner.
Right.
For example,
my mind, but you know, it should be directed in places. It seems unstructured.
This is incredibly structured. The list seems structured. The list comes, and list note-taking and list business thinking comes from really the Industrial Revolution. It's 200 years out of date. Our brains don't think in lists and lines. They think in images and associations. So this is perfectly structured. This is actually done on the new iMindMap software. And that just happens to be my curriculum vitae. Right. So when I'm being introduced to business conferences, they introduce each one of those main branches is like a chapter of the introduction. Okay. But much easier than a list.
I'm interested to see how you connect those workers that I was talking about and the bosses. Is it through mind mapping? Because one might argue that, you know, I've used this technique, many people have, to perhaps prepare a presentation.
Exactly.
But how does it build great businesses?
Oh, because this is a reflection of the brain. And we went from the Industrial Revolution to the Information Revolution, Information Age, then to the Knowledge Age. And everybody thought it was about that. But it wasn't. It was about managing the manager of change. Now, the manager of change in this rapidly changing world we're in is the brain. So you have to learn to manage that manager. You have to learn to manage your brain. And the mind map is a tool that helps you brainstorm, generate ideas, project manage. On 9/11, as soon as that disaster had happened, Con Edison got together all the top thinkers and mind mapped the whole catastrophe and the way out of that catastrophe. So the mind map is a thinking tool that reflects the processes of your and my and everyone's brains.
Just one last point. I've read that you hold the world's highest creative IQ. Is that true?
That is true.
Fantastic. We haven't got time to talk about that. After the programme, I need to know more and more about you being the brainiest person you've ever had on the programme.
The real advantage as well, as Tony says in his book, every brain has the possibility of brilliance. So there's hope for you and I.
Even Nick, I don't believe it. Tony, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the book. Don't forget, we want to hear from you via email and all the other means. Considering Issues on Friday, we'll be talking about your technology questions, and tomorrow we're on at
normal later time, 1:30 to 2.
1:30.
You nearly got there.
Bye-bye.
See you then.